Okay, so today, the 11th of November, 2024. I saw Waterfall with like different money and trinkets going over, like doodads I'd probably use and spend. So I think I'm close to having finances to do all the things I'm trying to do. I did see a house in heaven set aside for me. It was like 100 by 1,000 feet, something like that. It was huge, and there was just tables of supplies and plates. And I heard heaven say, "This room has everything you could ever need for your ministry." And so God was really trying to get me not to think about money, but the fact that I have everything I need. And then He told me, like, I had this sketchbook, and I was just kind of like pretending to sketch, and like I would look at God, and I'd pretend to sketch, and I'd like look at God, and then God said, "You have to stop pretending and actually start getting some work done." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So that's what I'm doing too. Probably like tomorrow. Then I was at some sort of circus or zoo driving around roads. People were there. My best friend was there. My potential future wife was there, but she didn't know I was there. I crossed the room to talk to her. She didn't understand it was me. Finally got the words out that I was a missionary and I could heal people. And someday I'll be able to heal recent death and blindness. Yeah, because as I said in the last episode, I haven't been fully activated yet. There will come a time when God will be like, "All right, go," and then I'll be able to do everything. I heard from a prophetess that Jesus would practice turning water into wine when he was a kid. And then finally he gets to the wedding, which is both like literal wedding and a metaphorical wedding for Jesus coming out to marry the church. And his mom goes, "Go ahead." And he turns big old barrels into wine so we could finish the wedding. There was this white door, kind of like what you'd see for a white picket fence. It was a white like front door of a home. And I went up to knock the door, and I raised my hand to do so, but I understood I had to wait for her. I had to wait for my future potential wife. Because I didn't want to ask her. Like, at some point, she has to choose me. I can't, and that's something I don't like about society a lot. I feel a lot of people just go along with their friends, and they have all these hopes and dreams, and they just give up on to party too much or drink too much or not work hard or spend all their free time smoking. When I was a bouncer, someone came up to me and said, "Oh, hey, Josh, what'd you do last weekend?" I got high. And I said, "Well, I did like 4 photo shoots in 4 hours with some of the bartenders here." And the guy was like, "What? Wow, that's amazing. I need to hang out with you." I was like, "Yeah, like if you dictate your time, you'll spend it better. If you just let it sit there, it'll turn into whatever it kind of wants." And since I was homeschooled, I'm very particular about my time, because the first 14 years was like, living at home, doing work, living at home, doing work. So I kind of want to spring out of that. Anyways, I went up to knock on the door, and that was as close as I could get. Like, I couldn't knock, I couldn't beg, I couldn't ask. Like, eventually she had to want me in her life. And if she doesn't want to marry me, then my answer is no. I'm not going to have a 7-year courtship. I'm not going to have a 3-year courtship. I will have a courtship up to 9 months, and then if we're not engaged, then the answer is no, because I want a wife, and I want a family, and I want children, and you get one life to live, and I want to do things with that. And remember, I'm doing this very specifically to show y'all what you can do if you just talk to God about it. You just use your words and you say, "I want this." Don't sugarcoat it. Don't beg. Like, "Hey, God, I want this." Then you say it again, "I want this." And if he says, "Well, what about this?" You can say, "No, I want that." And maybe he'll say no, but he said yes a lot to me. When my mom prayed for my dad, she wanted someone kind, had God on his heart, big family, blue eyes, played the guitar, surfed, liked to worship. And I think she had a list of like 30 things, and she got them all. A friend of a friend wanted to get married, and I told her to make a list, and I prayed for her, and I think she met the man that met that list within 2 months, and she was having a hard time, and then we prayed, bam. Same thing with another friend. I didn't think she'd ever get married, but I kept praying for her, and then I think she was married within like 4 months. Like all of a sudden I saw a ring, and I was like, "Are you engaged?" And she went, "Actually, I'm married." Like, oh, okay. So yeah, so in the dream, she opens the door and comes up to me. So I guess she's letting me in, because like if she's blocking me off from her heart, that's, I'll be a gentleman. That's okay. I'll move on. And thank you for everything. So the next dream was Cat Williams, which was interesting. I have been praying for Cat Williams. I feel there's a spot in his heart for Jesus where he wants this real sort of methodical massaging of his mechanics and emotions and just life. And he was really there. So I think he hears this, and I think it really gets to him in a good way, or at least the prayers are being received, or at least working. We're talking and talking and talking. We were looking at this zoo circus, and he was really angry. So I think the zoo circus is like what I'm trying to do as an outreach. And then we sat there, and he said, "Tell me a joke." And I said, I didn't write this joke, but this is the joke that I said in my dream. Okay, so there's probably something prophetic or revolutionary that means something to him, and maybe if I increase my discernment or dream interpretation, I'll see that too. But I have to say it because as someone who works in the prophetic, I can't shy away from truth and power and righteousness and foundation. And so he said, "Tell me a joke." And I said, "Why are there no black men in your circus or zoo?" And then he just listened, and I said, "Because they have your wallets or credit cards." like I don't even know how that makes sense. And maybe it was a nonsense joke because he lives in such a high humor. I wanted to kind of perplex him with a joke that really didn't have a true message. And then the next dream, because I'll wake up and record it and then I fall asleep, was all these cars moving around, like 4 lanes, and just cars were like loaded all the way back, but things were starting to get organized, and they were starting to turn into the ministry. And I think that's all my little ideas, or maybe my prayers to increase my gifts. Oh yeah, and then someone took this knife out from my gut or chest. So the removal of betrayal, maybe. And I remember she looked like a mom. And then I saw like the devil, like the red devil, trying to replicate what I was doing at work. So that was kind of interesting. Anyway, that's it. That's all caught up. I love you guys. Don't forget to pray for what you want in life. I'm definitely going to take a break now. I've been working on this since 3, and it's now 11:30. So was that 9 hours straight? Almost. Never give up. Never surrender. Love you guys.